Hello everybody, it's Julia here from the Highly Sensitive Tarot, and I'm here today with my February collective reading, and I'm going to do this reading on the theme of IMBOLC, as that is the beginning of February, and I've been busy setting up my IMBOLC altar, which I'm going to do a little video of and upload so that you can see what I've got on my altar. But I thought I would do one of the little readings out of the Seasons of the Witch Oracle. I've recently bought this deck. I didn't have any of the Seasons of the Witch Oracles, to be honest, and I thought I would start with this one. IMBOLC is one of my times of the year that I look forward to, because it kind of means that although winter's not gone, it's on its way. You know, we might be through the worst, we might not in this country, in the UK. Sometimes the worst part of the winter is the second half. Sometimes it's the first half. Sometimes it's just mild all winter. Sometimes it's really cold all winter. Our winters vary a great deal. But I thought I would give this a try. So if you haven't seen it, it's this deck here, The Seasons of the Witch IMBOLC Oracle by Lorraine Anderson and Juliet Diaz. It's a gorgeous oracle. I've been looking at it over the last couple of weeks since it arrived, and I thought instead of shuffling and pulling a card, that I would just choose one really from the deck, and I chose The Coming of Spring. It says on here, beneath my feet stir the waking, spiraling surges of warmth that tell of life ready to birth. And that's just something that I really look forward to, the coming of spring, the earth waking up. Let's just see what I highlighted in the little book here. It says in this deck that repetitive elements are candles and winter, and thus IMBOLC go hand in hand. They represent the return of the light that is just a few short weeks away once the wheel turns to IMBOLC, and also that the light burns within you. Our intention is that every time you see a candle on one of these cards, that you will be reminded of how sacred you are, and that you will allow your light to shine in the world. So I really, really like that. And on this Coming of Spring card here, we've got quite a few candles, 3 or 4 candles actually. So as they said, let that be a reminder that every time you see a candle on these cards, you'll be reminded of how sacred you are, and that you will allow your light to shine in the world. That's really nice. Let's just see what else there was in this book about the coming of spring. So it says keywords: preparing for rebirth, reaching for the light, renewal, surges of hope. IMBOLC marks the beginning of the end of winter, letting you know it's time to begin your ascent out of the darkness. This card often finds you after a challenging situation or an emotional or spiritual crisis. You may have recently experienced a great shedding of what no longer serves you through the disillusion of a relationship or a dramatic end to a chapter in your life story. You're about to enter the stage of rebuilding from the ashes and can begin to allow hope and faith to enter your spirit again. This is a positive sign if you're looking for new love or a new job. This card indicates that there are many prospects waiting for you when you are ready to put yourself out there again. Perhaps the most important meaning of this card is that you have a wide open lane to fill your life with anything that you choose. The possibilities for where you go next are endless, and you should entertain all opportunities that come your way, because any of them are likely to yield positive results. So that's really nice, isn't it? That fills me with hope for the future. I feel that there are elements of my life that are coming to an end, chapters that are closing, And I can feel already the pull of new possibilities and new opportunities. So I've already done a reading for myself with this little 5-card reading, but I thought I'd do one for the collective. So without further ado, I've written down the little reading here so that I don't have to keep referring to the book. We will put IMBOLC over there, I think, and the coming of spring. I don't know why, but I felt very drawn to my Anna Kay deck for this. It might just be that the backs, I don't know what it was, but I was going through my decks looking for a deck that I felt would work with this reading, and I pulled the Anna Kay. So I have already shuffled it. I have already cleansed my energy. I have already grounded myself. And so now I want to set the intention that this reading is a coming of spring spread. This is about clearing out the old and bringing in the new. This is a collective reading. It's obviously not going to resonate for everybody. But as always, I feel if you're drawn to this video for some reason, there may well be a message here for you. So, I ask my guides for support through this reading. And I ask that this reading brings clarity and truth and love to whatever situation you may be facing. So, this is a 5-card spread. So, we have the 4 of Swords, the Knight of Swords, the World. Let's see if I can fit these all in here. The 10 of Wands. And the Devil. Woohoo. The Devil came up in my January reading, didn't it? It came up with the Tower. I remember that. And at the bottom of the deck, we have got the Chariot. Let's put that up there and put that there, perhaps. There we go. So at the bottom of the deck, we've got the Chariot. Okay, so as I said, this is a coming of spring spread, and there is a question for each one of these cards. Number 1 is, what energy am I experiencing right now? And I chose the 4 of Swords. So I would say that whatever energy you're feeling right now, wherever you are right now in life, is that perhaps you're in need of a rest. Perhaps you're in need of some healing, of some kind of sanctuary, some time out, some space, some comfort. Perhaps somebody to look after you. Perhaps you've been doing too much. You know, you've taken on too much. You've been looking after everybody else, or trying to look after everybody else, while you yourself were struggling in some way where your energy may not have been at its best. I see in this card somebody who's just exhausted, somebody who's in real need of healing, and that healing is here. I see this person holding their hand, perhaps offering them some kind of healing, offering them some kind of blessing. There's medicine on the floor. Yeah. whatever it is that you're experiencing right now, and wherever your energy is right now, I would say that your energy is low, and that whatever focus there needs to be at the moment in life, it needs to be focused on you. The energy needs to be flowing towards you. I feel that perhaps your energy has flowed out to everybody else for too long, and that energy needs to return to you. What is the biggest learning lesson from my most recent challenge? And I chose the Knight of Swords. What is the biggest learning lesson from my most recent challenge? Well, the Knight of Swords is a very assertive person. They're a person with a lot of focus, a lot of ability to work things out, communicate, and get things done. But there can also be a kind of hastiness about this card. In this picture here, we're seeing somebody, and we don't know, do we? We don't know whether this knight here is the cause of the fire in the background, or whether they're coming to the rescue of the person in the fire in the background. Perhaps the message here, the learning lesson from your most recent challenge, is that sometimes it's better to pull back, to not be so hasty, to bide your time a little bit is what I'm feeling here, to not rush in, to be gentle with your words, gentle with your energy, gentle towards yourself and everybody else involved in this situation. I often feel, although the Knight of Swords is quite dynamic, it's a little bit of a harsh energy, isn't it? It can be a harsh energy, I think. Like we said, there's an uncertainty with the card here about whether this Knight of Swords has rushed in to the fight, to the fray, to cause trouble, or whether they're there to defend somebody. But whatever, I think that perhaps the message of this is to pull back a little bit. My cat, he's just in and out, in and out, in and out. There's birds and all sorts outside, and he thinks that I should be there at every moment to open the door for him, but I'm not going to, so. So yeah, already I'm getting that feeling from this reading that actually you may have been charging ahead a great deal with something or somebody or a situation or a project. Something has taken up a lot of your energy. It's caused you to have to be really assertive, really focused, and be kind of defensive, I think. I think that's what I'm feeling from this. You've had to be defensive a great deal, and I think it's worn you out. It could have even made you quite poorly, So card number 3 here, the middle of the reading, is beautiful, isn't it? We've got the world. And the question for this is, what is something I can look forward to? Well, I think this is quite simple, isn't it? You can look forward to this cycle ending. This cycle is coming to an end. There is a completion. Something will have been achieved. Something will become whole. The cycle will have completed itself, and you will move on, Yeah, I think that's all I've got to say about that. Question number 4 is, how will I know that my spring cycle has arrived? I've drawn the 10 of rods, the 10 of wands here, which as you can see, there's a bit of a disaster about to happen here. We've got black clouds. The wands are going to fall on this person's head. They're feeling very protective. And obviously spring is about things feeling better, things feeling lighter, a new cycle beginning. And it's interesting, we've got the 10 of Wands here. It's Saturn in Sagittarius. It's the end of another cycle, isn't it? We've got a lot of that kind of energy going on here, actually, haven't we, with the World and the 10 of Rods, just in these 5 little cards. But yeah, this is, I think this ties into the first card here, to be honest, about how you're feeling right now, what you're experiencing right now. Is I think that you already know that your spring cycle has arrived because you're at the end of a cycle, and I think that you know that. I don't really know any other way to try and explain this. I'm not doing very well today, am I, with this? It does feel very much that you kind of already know that you're at the end of a cycle. It's like you've exhausted yourself completely and you're feeling quite defensive about your energy and your position. Yeah. And I think that you're already in that place where you are looking forward to the next phase of your life. I think that you can already see the next phase of your life. I think it's just around the corner for you. It's not far away and you can see it. And it's like you're on the last legs of this old cycle, like you're dragging yourself through it. Or you've even done like this person has here, and you're just hunkered down, waiting for the end. Waiting for the end, waiting for the sun to break through the clouds, waiting for something better to come along. When we look at the last card here, this question for this card is, how can I develop more hope and faith in the meantime? And this is the Devil card, isn't it? So I've been sitting looking at this while I've been talking, trying to kind of soak up what this might mean. How can I develop more hope and faith in the meantime? Well, I would say that the way that you're going to feel better about your situation is to try and introspect as much as you can about what your own part is in this cycle, or has been in this cycle, you know, to really understand the energies that have kept you feeling helpless or tied to a situation, the things that have kept you feeling burdened or stuck or limited in some way. Whether these things are bad habits, addictions, codependencies, you know, our human existence, there are so many things that are tied to devil energy, all of the things that keep us limited and stuck and really feeling helpless about our situation. So I would say, given that we have the devil card in that position there, that the things that you need to develop hope and faith are to transcend these lower energies of the devil card here, is to transcend that, to rise above that, to perhaps do something like keep a gratitude journal, you know, to really focus in on the things that are going well for you, the things that are positives for you. You know, to have some kind of daily practice that is healthy, that is for your higher good, to remind yourself, to catch yourself, to be mindful, to not allow yourself to go down those rabbit holes of old sort of patterns of behaviour that don't serve you anymore. At the bottom of the deck, we've got the Chariot card, and I like to think that the bottom of the card is perhaps what we're unconscious of, really, the things that we might not have seen. It may even be the real crux of the matter, at the real heart of the matter. And here we've got the Chariot. And I sense about this reading that there is an impatience for this next cycle to begin. There is an impatience for the sun to be heading towards the sun, heading towards that light, rediscovering your own light, filling yourself with that heat and that warmth and that light and radiating that out. There's a real pull towards this. And you know, when we look at a lot of these other cards here, other than the World in the middle, well, they're quite dark, aren't they? You know, the Four of Swords is quite gloomy. The Knight of Swords, there's all this dark sky and fire and confusion. The Ten of Rods, we've got these sort of thunder clouds in the sky. We've got the rods falling, feeling defensive. We've got this very, very limiting and binding energy, this trapped feeling of the devil. And then we've got this beautiful Chariot with this beautiful sun. And I think this is where you want to be headed, out into the world. Excuse me, hang on. Sorry about that, there's my cat again. He's a monster at the moment with the birds outside. It's like he's on a mission. Because I'm feeding the birds, he's just desperate to catch one of them, and he went bombing past my window, so I just had to go and check that he hadn't caught anything. So yeah, what was I saying? It's beautiful actually that we have this card at the bottom of the deck, because this is where you're headed. This is where you're going. We've got that beautiful sun rising here. We also, in the coming of spring, we have this beautiful sun rising here as well, don't we? You know, that's where you're headed. That's your future, not all of this. And so I think I would say at the moment that how you're feeling right now, with your energy being low, with you maybe being poorly, accept whatever help comes your way. Take comfort where you can. Rest where you can. Take care of yourself. Focus on your self-care. And the other thing that I would say here in this reading is to be very mindful of your thought processes and where your thoughts take you. To not allow yourself to go down those rabbit holes. To try and break free of some of your more bad habits, because we all have them, you know, whatever form they take for you. And perhaps this kind of energy that I see here of this sort of defensiveness and this self-protectedness, perhaps that's not a bad thing at this time. You know, when your energy is low, sometimes that's a time where you need to focus in on yourself and be assertive with other people about what you actually need. There are definitely cycles wrapping up here with these two cards. And as I said, you're headed towards better places. I think I would just like to end this reading really with these two cards here, of the sunshine, of the light, of remembering that you carry your own light. What was it I read out of the book for you? Where was it? Our intention is that every time you see a candle on one of these cards, you will be reminded of how sacred you are and that you will allow your light to shine in the world. And I feel that that's really coming. That's what's round the corner for you. You're going to break out of all of these dark clouds, all of this limiting energy that has kept you feeling helpless or tied or limited or bound in some way, stuck. That's all coming to an end here. And I think that you're heading towards all of this beautiful sunshine that we have in these 3 cards here. Just looking at these cards as well, I've noticed that we have 2 swords. We have the World, which I think is earth energy. We have the 10 of Wands, which is fire. It's mutable fire, isn't it? It's changeable fire. And then we have the Devil, which is earth energy again, isn't it? It's Capricorn. So what we're actually lacking here in this reading is cups. We have the watery energy of the Chariot. This is Cancer, isn't it? But what we're really lacking in this reading is cups. So it might be that at this time you're not feeling that engaged with your own emotional state, or your own emotional state is kind of shut down. You know, I would say that from this card here, the 4 of Swords. But I do see that coming to an end. I think, as I said, that's very much coming to an end here. So look after yourself, keep yourself well, remind yourself all of the time that this cycle is ending and that a new cycle is coming, that the sunshine is returning, and that you have your own light inside that can warm you and can shine the way forward for you. So there we go. I hope that that was helpful, and please do leave me some feedback. Please do say hello, and I will see you all again soon. Thank you.